Hey YouTube, TheIxelan here, bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. This is an OU match against maaaddenman. He's one of my friends, really cool guy, really good battler. So yeah, definitely check out his channel if you haven't and subscribe to him. And let's get into it. He leads off with Bouffalant. I'm like, what the fuck are you bringing a Bouffalant for? That's not going to do anything. Holy shit, does that head charge do a lot of damage. I did not expect that at all. I was like, what the fuck? That's a strong Pokemon. A slow Pokemon, but a strong Pokemon. So yeah, my Swampert's dead early. He doesn't have a spinner, so I'm kind of okay with that. And I just go for a sub, hoping that, you know, I thought he might be faster, because I don't know the speed of a Bouffalant, and I didn't want to take any chances, and I'm too lazy to look shit up in the middle of the battle. But I'm actually faster, so he just breaks my sub, and I'm like, alright, well that's fine, I'll just Dynamic Punch and finish this thing off, because he told me it was choice band, and that meant he was just going to keep doing that until it died. So now he goes out in the Hydreigon, and I'm going to switch out, because I don't want to take the Draco Meteor, and Magnezone is the only thing that can possibly survive a Draco Meteor from a Hydreigon. And survive he does. It looks about 60%, roughly, guesstimating. Now he's going to switch out. I thought he was just going to go for another one and try to finish me off, and I didn't think it would, so I went for the light screen. But he goes into Snorlax, and I'm like, oh, Snorlax, that means Fire Punch is coming to finish me off. And I could have gone for the Reflect, but I think the Fire Punch would have finished me off anyways, since I have no defense. So I just Volt Switch out and go into my Machamp, and I take that Fire Punch like a champ. Does basically nothing. I think like 30 hit points after leftovers. So he's gonna switch out here on the Dynamic Punch. That's pretty obvious. And I get the he gets the Intimidate with his Gyarados, and I get the Dynamic Punch off, and it crits, and that really fucking mattered. Like, this could have been a completely different battle had that not critted. As you'll see, he basically puts him in range, so if he gets Confusion once without breaking out, he dies. And I go into Whimsicott to take the predicted Waterfall in case he breaks through. And he kills himself. And that really sucks for him because that was a waste of a Gyarados, and I feel like the Gyarados could have done a lot of fucked up shit to my team. So he goes into Infernape, I go for the Stun Spore, and he taunts me. And I could have U-turned out, but I wasn't thinking, and I, for some reason, thought that I didn't have an attacking move at that moment. So I just switched out to Machamp, and he goes in the Hydreigon, and I'm like, shit, I don't want anything else to take one of these, so Bullet Punch, priority, and then die to the Draco. But I don't die to the Draco. I live with 64 hit points. What the fuck? How the hell did that happen? He's like, we're on a Skype call, and he's freaking out, and I'm freaking. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, do you have max special defense investment? I'm like, no. What the hell just happened? I thought I might live the next one. Then we realized it was light screen. That's why I didn't see the second Bullet Punch, because I was like, maybe I'll live the next one magically somehow. But of course I don't. So I go out into Landorus, which is actually my Tornadus, which just fucks with people. Which is proven by the point that maaaddenman was like, that's not a Landorus, what the hell? And I was like, yeah, it's Tornadus. So I go for the Rain Dance, and he switches into Snorlax, and I'm just gonna Hurricane the hell out of this thing, and he curses, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the curse. So I was hoping the second Hurricane would finish off the Snorlax before he got another curse up, but it doesn't, and he lives. I'm like, shit. And he goes for the Body Slam, and Tornadus lives with 30 hit points. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I was thinking that I was going to die to Life Orb here because, you know, a tenth of 299 is 29.9, and I figured it'd round, but it actually, the game truncates, and so I live with 1 hit point. And I'm like, oh shit, alright, one more. So he fodders out his Infernape because he doesn't want a Hydreigon to die because that thing is, you know, pretty baller. And his Infernape's already paralyzed, so, you know, it's significantly weaker than it would be otherwise. So I die to Life Orb that turn, and the rain stops. So I'm going to go out to Magnezone, predicting the Hydreigon, but he goes out into Reuniclus, and I'm like, that's fine, I can definitely set up my light screen again. And I die to a Focus Blast because, you know, it's going to return the hacks and not have his Focus Blast miss, and I'm like, okay, that's good. That's fair. And it crits, that wouldn't have mattered, I would have died anyways. So then I see he's got Flame Orb, and I'm like, fuck Magic Guard and the Flame Orb and the shit. Alright, I'm going to Protect to see if he has the trick. because obviously he would have the trick. It makes no sense for him not to have the trick. So now I'm going to switch out into Whimsicott, because my plan here is if I can get the Flame Orb onto Whimsicott and then get the fuck out, he can't trick it to my Latias. So I don't want him setting up Calm Mind, so I Encore him into Trick here. And I'm like, okay, he's going to take the Flame Orb back, I'm going to take some flame damage, I'm going to waste a turn while he gives it back, and then I can U-turn out into Latias. So I set up a Leech Seed. It's not going to do anything, I know, Magic Guard, blah, blah, blah. But he's going to Trick and give me back the Flame Orb. So like, okay, this is working perfectly. And he doesn't want to, like, switch into his Hydreigon and have me, like, Stun Spore or something. So I'm going to U-turn out of there, go into Latias, as he finishes his Encore and tricks me again. Now he's stuck on Trick because he takes Choice Specs from me and gives me leftovers. So I'm like, alright, this works perfectly. I will Dragon Pulse right here. We'll see how much damage it does. It's not doing enough to even be a 3-hit KO, but since he's locked into Trick, he has to give me back the Specs. So it might be a 3-hit KO with Specs back on. So I'm like, okay, Dragon Pulse here, and it does look like it's going to do enough damage to be a 3-hit KO. And he's like, I don't want you to have Specs when you go against my Hydreigon, so I'm going to take that back, and wear out your Light Screen. So he's basically wearing out my Light Screen and making sure I didn't have Specs when I go against Hydreigon, which is probably a good move. So now he goes into Hydreigon, and I Protect to see if he locks himself into Draco Meteor, and he doesn't. He locks himself into Dragon Pulse, which is a really good play. So I think I'm faster, so I'm just going to Dragon Pulse myself, and that works. He goes down, and I'm like, yes, okay. So yeah, I won that one, and that's a good game. And like, comment, subscribe, check out Madman's channel, and I'll see you guys next time.